1837, on Thursday the 22nd of August 2002, Emily Sarah Münch made her way into the world by caesarean section after spending just 26 weeks in the womb.
I was born prematurely in 2002. I was born at 26 weeks and weighed 980 grams and spent 99 days in the Neonatal ICU.
Thursday was a very scary and emotionally taxing day as the decision to go ahead was made, and one of the nurses from the neonatal unit came to talk to us. We went to see the unit in order to prepare us for what was to come, and all I can say is thanks to the man above that we actually had some sort of experience on this matter. Being in theatre for me ended up being comforting, and the thought of her at 26 weeks and what may or may not happen was more daunting than the neonatal unit itself. She's 31 centimeters long and weighed 980 grams at birth. So far she's doing very well, with the real problem that she currently has being her prematurity. The moment she's off the ventilator and on the CPUT machine, which basically ensures that her lungs don't collapse, maintaining a cushion of air which she breathes herself. Given that the receptor within her brain that tells her to breathe is only fully developed at 35 weeks, they do have to remind her to breathe pretty often, and she's given caffeine which stimulates the receptor to do its job. Her forgetfulness is not enough that they need to put her back on the ventilator, but obviously remains an option to them. All things being equal, she will be in hospital till somewhere around middle November, which is very tough to handle, but it's the best place for her to be.
So I was obviously born 26 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when did you go into labour?
The week before, at 25 weeks.
Jeez. You said that you didn't get to see me until the day after I was born, but you saw me.
I walked with you. I went with you to make sure as they took you down to
Bodyguard.
Yes, I
So
said
to speak.
because they could have swapped you.
Imagine, am I really your kid?
Exactly. Well, I think we know now.
I hope so.
But no, Dad went with you and he was there the whole time.
I was just watching him to work on you and whatever the case may be. But by the time I was done, when I got back, your mother had been done in theatre. Because I went back to the theatre to go and get her, and they said, no, she's gone.
Where is she?
She was like in a little recovery section outside.
Yeah.
So she, they done, which makes sense. I mean, 30 minutes is a long period of time for.
And you got to put her at ease.
And then I came and I said she's all fine and she's there. And they've got all the. I mean, as I say, it was scary stuff. It wasn't simple.
And then Shan, they were very special because they still put me, obviously knowing what we'd been through, they put us in our own private ward and everything, so that we wouldn't, on the other side, so we wouldn't hear the crying babies and things.
Yeah.
But everybody was like, come for dinner, do this, do that.
Keep it normal.
Cooked for us, because obviously it was just, we
So
spent a long time.
When you saw me the day after I was born, did you go with Dad or?
Yes, I think, yes, you were with me.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dad wheeled me, or you were already there and the nurse wheeled me in, or I don't remember. But I remember I was still in a wheelchair, because they don't let you walk, like, I don't know why, after your Caesar.
Well,
It was
they cut you open. I think.
Yeah, then I took you, I meant to, so I don't know, but anyway, came to see you, and that was the first time I saw you in that little, as they called it, the princess ward, your own little wing, because the lowest, they call
Smallest.
it the sickest baby, which doesn't always mean the sickest, but it's the lowest birth weight, or somebody who's really not well. So you were very blessed because you had that own little room. So it was quite private and...
Yeah, what benefited there is, so Aiden was only allowed to come for one visit in the ward.
Yeah.
So we tried to delay it as long as possible, but we were able for him to come there and then look at you through the window, because where the ward was, there was like a little curtain which they could open and he could look at you. Because we wanted to make it meaningful. At that stage, your skin was very sensitive, so you can't touch you and that type of thing. That, you don't rub. You touch a person, you can't rub them because the nerve endings are so close to the top
There wasn't any
to the
fat.
top of your skin.
I imagine you were excited when I finally came home. Hope so.
Yeah. Been in hospital for such a long time. I only got to see you once.
Really?
I wasn't allowed in because I was a kid. And you were in like another room in that, so there was like a door, like a double doorway, and then you went in, and then you were in like still another room through that.
Oh.
So I think I went into like the double door area, and I could see into where you were. And then mom and dad or like granny or someone would be with me while you were in there with mom and everything. You were just always in there.
I know you got to see me once.
Yes.
Because I got cool pictures of that.
Okay.
Some of my favorite
Yeah.
pictures.
I
You're
don't.
just so cool.
I don't remember much. We were just like small and red.
You drew a family portrait.
You just red.
It's just like a red demon looking thing. It's quite offensive, but I understand.
Hasn't changed much.
Wow, thanks.
We had each other.
Massive, massive.
And
Have to do that.
Yeah, and when I was having a bad day and I'd just crumble, Dad would be there for me and pick me up and say, Lovey, we've got this, and vice versa. Because there were days. I think there were days where you both cried.
Your support structure is important, but you, each other, you are each other's biggest strength.
How are you? I'm good. Oh. You look so good. You are the first adult that I'm speaking to.
Really?
Yes, the first microprem baby that's now an adult. A beautiful young lady like you.
That's so special. Wow.
When you were born, you were first on the ventilator. Dr. Weber was the paediatrician, and you were just very special because at that stage in the unit, you were the smallest baby there.
Wow.
Born, yeah, and the sickest, and that is really my forte, looking after little babies and see how they progress. So you were very special.
Oh.
I even get emotional just thinking of that now.
I'm getting emotional with you saying it. So, I mean, like, you were such an important part. You're still an important part of my life. I think you're always going to be such an important part of my life. I mean, my parents have spoken about you for years. So to finally get to actually speak with you is incredible. So I kind of wanted to know, like, what was those 3.5 months like? What was the ups? What was the downs?
You know, the ups were when you were doing good, because you were, after the ventilation, you were put on CPAP. It is just like breathing on your own, and the CPAP is just mode of ventilation where the lungs doesn't collapse. It stays open so that you can breathe easily in and out. Or sometimes you were a bit not good. When I come on duty, I look at him and I said, oh my word, what happened? Because we used to get days off in between. And then I leave probably on a Monday and I come back the Wednesday. I said, Emily's not good. My gut. I'm into my gut. My gut is always right. Then I will phone the doctor, or I will take blood, send it to the lab to see if there's no infection, if you're not anemic. The parents used to say, it's not your baby, it's my baby. But you felt like my baby, you know? And that is how I got attached to you and just wanted the best for you. Not to struggle, because I mean, why must you struggle? You were supposed to be in your mother's womb at that stage, and here you are lying, struggling with breathing, and lots of other challenges, which is not fair really. But nature, you can't go against nature. You wanted to be here, and that is the day that you were born. It was a long, long journey for you to in ICU, and here you are.
Amazing.
And sometimes, you know, you tell the parents at the day of the birth it's going to be a long relationship. There's going to be uphills and downhills. There will be times when things are not going to be good, but being strong, you survive that.
So good to see you.
Yeah, very nice to see you too after all these years.
It's quite emotional, to be honest, being back in space. I don't obviously remember it, but I think somewhere in my mind I kind of do, if that makes sense. It feels like familiar, and it feels familiar to see you. I know we haven't seen each other in like 22 years.
Last time I saw you, I think you were probably close on 2 kilograms and being packed up to go home.
Oh, well, I'm way more than that now, weight-wise, yeah, way more. I wanted to ask, obviously you were such an incredible, like, important part of my journey, and the reason I'm sitting here today. So I wanted to ask what you remember from that time, You know, what was that like? What was it like meeting my mom, meeting me, any of the preparation stuff?
Well, you know, we kind of meet you before we meet you, if I could say that. So before you're actually born and you come to us, we know about your mum. We know she's in trouble. We know that we're going to be expecting a little baby. We know the weeks. So we do a lot of preparing before you arrive. And I remember that day that you were born very little, 26 weeks.
Yeah.
And 900 grams, usually when they're under a kilo, our little babies, which was you, we call you a microprim because you're under 1 kilogram of weight and gestationally you're early. So, yeah, very little baby when you came our way, very fragile. And I remember your mom being quite overwhelmed by how little you were. You know, it is, I think, very overwhelming.
You can imagine.
Yeah.
I think you're expecting one thing and then for it to go so differently.
Yeah, and I think nothing prepares you for it because, you know, as you'll see, the environment is full of technical equipment. You're worried about your little baby that's so small, and then along you come and you're very delicate. And the smaller the babies, the harder the neonatal nurses always work. When we eventually meet your mom, which is usually the next day, which is traumatic enough actually for your mom as well.
Yeah.
Because obviously she's had anesthetic and all those kind of things. So, and I remember just how overwhelmed she was the first time, because I think nothing prepares you for how small your baby actually is, and how small you are, how vulnerable you are. It's the most preparation work, because you want to get the procedures done quick, so you can leave that little person, you, at peace and at rest, so that they can just recover to extrauterine life, we call it. Because it's a big shock for the mother, shock for the baby, not a shock for us.
You're prepared. I'm glad you're prepared.
We're ready for you. It's what we do.
You guys were so incredible. She always spoke, or speaks still to this day, so fondly about you and about Sister Sylvia and everyone else that was involved. You guys were really like her rock and support through that time, you know, in ways of like explaining things to her from the medical perspective and being honest about things, but also still, you know, having that compassion, being sympathetic, and you guys are really part of our family, to be honest, you know. Such an important part of our lives, then and still though.
It's the most amazing thing to see someone like you.
Thank you. It's so nice to see you though.
I don't think you've put in words what it does for my heart. To see the 26-week sit in front of me and can see and speak and hear and visit me and have a laugh. It's the most beautiful thing.
Thank you.
No.
Hello, I'm Dr. Heinrich Weber, and I'm immensely privileged to be interviewed by one of the small babies I looked after. I had the honor of being your pediatrician when you were born. So caring for you was not only a professional responsibility, but also a deeply emotional experience. Seeing how far you've come is incredibly rewarding.
Oh, thank you. How does it feel knowing that you saved my life, literally, and are one of the reasons I'm sitting here talking to you today?
Yes, it's emotional, and I also feel deeply honored. But I have to say it wasn't just me, it was a team effort, which includes nursing staff, pharmacists, just the general operation in the hospital. And it's us all working together to provide you with the best care possible. And medicine has made it possible for babies as early as 26 weeks to have a fighting chance. It's incredibly moving to see you now thriving and doing well. Knowing that I played a part in your survival and that you're able to sit here today is something I'll always cherish. So the lung is usually the most delicate organ, especially for early survival. And premature babies often have underdeveloped lungs that lack surfactant as well. And that's a substance that helps keep the airways open and prevent it from collapsing. This can lead to serious breathing difficulties and conditions such as respiratory distress syndrome.
What would you say for premature babies that is the biggest repercussion or challenges that they face later in life because they're born premature?
So premature babies can often face several long-term challenges due to their early birth. And these challenges can affect various aspects of their health and development throughout their lives. So some long-term repercussions of prematurity include respiratory or lung issues. There's an increased risk of chronic lung diseases and lung function impairment. There's a host of neurological complications, higher risk of cerebral palsy, developmental delays, learning disorder. There's also a higher risk of cardiovascular complications, sensory, growth and developmental mental delays, including metabolic disorders, and lastly, also behavioral and social challenges. But these challenges highlight the importance of early intervention and continuous medical support to help premature babies lead healthier lives. But despite these challenges, many premature babies grow up to lead healthy, fulfilling lives, like yourself.
I'm Ricky Dippner. I'm a neonatologist in Globerg in England City. We run the Neonatal ICU, and people don't really know what a neonatologist is. So it's a subspecialty of pediatrics, and we look after babies where we have problems in the first 28 days of life. We start with ward rounds, and generally what happens is the phone just starts ringing. And we start fielding phone calls from everywhere, and we never know really what's going to happen. So whether we are having a baby that's being delivered in casualty, or we are being referred a patient from outside that has collapsed, or something like that. So it's a very unpredictable day. And then just when you think things are going right, then one of your babies in the unit will crash, and then you have to rush off to that. That's kind of the normal day. As you go earlier and earlier in the pregnancy, then the development is obviously in various stages of maturation. So for instance, if you look at the lungs, at 34 weeks everything's fully developed, but it's not fully working. So, and that's the problem. So you've got a moving target. Everything in that body needs to be assisted. I mean, if you look at a 22 and a 23 weeker, for instance, their skin is basically transparent. Their biggest organ is their skin. Then you're not focusing so much on lungs and heart and brains, but you're focusing more on, are we just going to not hurt their skin? Because the normal linen is so fragile on their skin. I mean, it's like little things like that. They make huge differences.
How do you, with the linen then, how do you specifically?
Sheepskin.
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 So linen is hard. Linen also has chemicals on it. So, and their skin, and we'll protect the skin with an artificial type of granny-flex skin. But sheepskin, fleece blankets, every plaster we put on, we try and do silicone based because it will do damage to the skin. If you traction on the skin, it can cause damage. If you clean them, even an alcohol swab burns them. It's the biggest challenge of a microprem is their skin. Their skin is like it's Pandora's box. You never know what's going to happen to it.
I'm Sister Kaylee. I work in the Neonatal ICU at Blaauwberg Netcare, and I have been working in neonates for the past 20 plus years. In the environment that we provide here in the NICU, we try and mimic that environment and try and keep all those developmental factors to continue growing while you're here. So where we would provide humidification, protection of your skin, your immunity, your positioning, your feeding, your bonding with your mom, your just all those small little factors. We try and add those small things one at a time, slowly, so that you wouldn't have large gaps missing by the time you are 40 weeks. We know that the moms have been, are imminent for an early delivery, which are expected, and they give them steroids prior to delivery, and that's what we call a steroid matured premature baby. And then we have a baby that isn't steroid mature, and maybe mom has an infection. So, and those two are completely different on two different scales, and that makes a huge difference when it comes to baby survival, baby's outcome, and what you do and your course of action that you'll take.
What do you find to be your favorite part of the job, or to be the most rewarding part?
My job is taking on the untouchables. So the ones where everybody tells us, there isn't any hope for this child. Because we don't do outpatients, because we just sit in the ICU, we can spend all of our time focusing on one baby. We're very fortunate to be able to do that. And because of that, our team is dedicated, and it's nursing staff, it's doctors, it's every part of the team focused on trying to push the boundaries. I think that's the nicest part of my job, that I can push the boundaries.
My most favorite part about my job would definitely be the first time a mom gets to hold her baby. I think I'm gonna cry now. Such a wuss. I think after a mom has had a special baby, or fought so long to fall pregnant, and then had a baby that's been so sick and hasn't held her baby sometimes for 20 to 40 days, and you get to place that baby on her chest for the first time, that feeling of emotion and love, and being the sister to do that and walking that road with that mom for so long, that is probably the best part of my job.
The first for me is the most rewarding part of the job, definitely that. The first time she gets to actually touch her baby, the first time she gets to kangaroo care, the first time she gets to breastfeed. And we always prepare them, tell them it's going to be little licks, it's not going to be a full-on, the baby's going to learn, because unlike a term baby that just grabs and eats, this little baby has to learn what is this about, and just experience taste for the first time. The first time you give them a little bit of milk in their little mouths, or the first time you can actually handle them without affecting their vital signs. That's for me the most rewarding, most amazing part of the job.
You get that job satisfaction. You've done your part.
I think one of the most rewarding aspects of my job is knowing that I can make a significant impact. Your journey from such a fragile start to now a reminder of why we do this work. It's not about just saving lives in the moment, but about giving people a fighting chance to live a full, meaningful life afterwards. It is it's not just a job, it's a calling.
The sisters were so good. Sylvie and Diane, I mean, they were all brilliant, but those were your two main nurses that looked after you. Without them, we wouldn't have.
Sylvie always used to say, baby will decide the timeline.
Yes.
It's baby that will decide. It's not you. You don't rush it, whatever the case may be.
Not the
Doctor won't decide the timeline. Baby will decide when she's ready.
She'll let you know when she's ready to go. And you did.
It's been a really amazing journey. It's been a really emotional journey, I'm not gonna lie. Getting to speak to my parents about something that was such a big moment and such a big experience for them, and such a difficult experience. Obviously to the medical staff, my NICU sisters, Diane and Sylvie, two of them that I've interviewed, and my paediatrician, Dr. Weaver, and getting to speak to them and hear their insight into everything, specifically from what they remember about me and my family. The work that they do is so incredibly important and has helped shape the lives of so many people, and getting to reunite with them was one of the best experiences of my life.
Will Cather, an American author who lived from 1876 to 1947, wrote, "Where there is great love, there are always miracles, and Emily is a house."